They'll lynch you, but he did, and he lasted. I think he lasted about a week and a half.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the West Ham Network for another West Ham Daily. I hope you are enjoying our Advent Calendar series. Every morning you wake up, you're getting a little sneaky peek of some of the good moments from the West Ham Network. You can go and check out their videos, of course, as well in their full entirety on the channel. But we have got content coming for you galore. If you haven't already, go and check out yesterday's content. You'll have seen a little special on Nesri, Moroccan striker. West Ham are interested, who plays for Sevilla. He's hit the ground running in the World Cup and he's doing pretty well. And we all know David Moyes is a big admirer of the Moroccan striker. So will he be a player coming in? Who knows? That is something, again, as I say every single day when I do these shows, we'll have to keep a really keen eye on. On top of that, I did do a West Ham Daily yesterday talking about a boost for West Ham. Now, the fact is that it's not ideal that we're out of the World Cup in terms of England, but that does mean that Declan Rice will be returning to the club sooner rather than later, as will Lucas Paqueta. And on top of that, Thilo Kehrer as well. So that's positive news. And of course, you heard yesterday me talking about West Ham having a blank checkbook in terms of trying to convince Declan Rice to stay at the club, but we will have to wait and see what happens with that. I don't see it, but we'll have to hold off on our thoughts there. Anyway, if you are new around here, why not go and hit the subscribe button? We're on the march towards 20,000 subscribers. Just go and hit that button. It really does help us out. And yeah, we massively appreciate all of your support for the channel as well, especially in a crazy 2022, but we are boosting it up and pushing forward and going to move with the 2023 as we know. Now, there is news coming out of the club, but it is also, like I always say, reports close to the club. So the first one is that West Ham are supposedly working on a double deal to bring two players over from Brazil, and not just Brazil, Sao Paulo. Two players from Sao Paulo. Now, the rumours are strife saying that Luazu, who's the defender, is not the only Sao Paulo player that we're hoping to sign in the January transfer window. Apparently, according to sources, we've already agreed a 3.5-year deal with a talented 20-year-old central defender and are looking to welcome him to the London Stadium once his contract at Sao Paulo, which expires at the end of January, runs out. Loads of clubs around Europe and world football were interested. Benfica, Porto, Sporting Lisbon, Wolves, Fulham, Red Bull, a lot of teams in the Red Bull kind of brand, Juventus, were all interested in signing this Brazilian defender, but he struck, as what we're led to believe, he struck an agreement with West Ham after he took an extensive scouting mission in South America. We've got the new system set up, so that could have paid dividends for us as well. Now, also, it's been reported that he has arrived in England on Monday ahead of a planned medical. So we will have to see. I've not seen anything that's concrete on that. It's just reports right now. But if so, then it potentially looks like this will be a good deal for West Ham. But it's not the only player that we are looking at from Sao Paulo. Apparently, according to sources close to the club, this man here, Pablo Maia, is another subject of interest for West Ham. He's also 20 years old, but we are yet to supposedly agree a structure on a potential player. So this will be interesting to see how these two stories develop. However, in order for me to tell you a little bit more about the players, I need to give you some information on them. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information on them. And should these stories grow arms and legs over the next couple of days, I'll give you a lot more detail behind them. Now, Luazu, he is 20 years old. He's 6'1". He is a centre back. He was born in Sao Paulo, Brazil, but he can also play as a left back. So his versatility is there, which we know David Moyes likes. He joined Sao Paulo back in 2017, and he's been at the club ever since, making his first team debut only earlier this year. He made his professional debut for the Faith team, was what they're called, in May 22 during the Copa Sudamericana clash against Chilean side Everton. His career to date, he's made 19 first-team appearances for Sao Paulo's first team during his debut first season, scoring once during his debut campaign across all competitions as well. His debut came with a goalless draw with Chilean side Everton in the Copa tournament that I said, one of 6 appearances in the competition this year, which is the South American equivalent of the Europa League. And after the draw on his debut, Sao Paulo won all 4 of other games that he played in, starting with keeping clean sheets against other teams from Bolivia and Peru, as well as coming off the bench during both legs in the round of 16 win over Chilean side Universidad Católica. Now, Sao Paulo went on to reach the final of the competition before losing to Argentinian side Independiente. So in July 22, he made his league debut in Brazil's top flight against and featured in 14 of their final 23 league games, making 11 starts and scoring his first senior goal in a 1-1 draw in the league. Now, he has helped his side keep 2 clean sheets when playing, but did play as a left back during his side's 1-1 draw with the Corinthians. He also played once in the Copa do Brazil last season, featuring as a late sub as a last 16 second leg clash against Palmeiras, which Sao Paulo did win on penalties. But in that competition, Sao Paulo reached the semi-finals, losing 4-1 in aggregate to Flamengo at that stage. And in the league, Sao Paulo finished in 9th position, which qualifies them for next season's Copa Sudamericana, missing out on top 8 and qualification for the Copa terrible pronunciations here, Libertadores, which is the South American Champions League, by a single point. Now, at 20 years of age, he's very early in his career, and his contract is expiring at the end of January, so he would be a free transfer if signed at the end of that. However, he has only got 19 first-team appearances to his name, so he's got very inexperienced player. Does have a taste of playing in cross-continental competitions, such as, if we look at the fact that West Ham are playing in the Europa League and the recent Europa Conference League, but he might need some time to adapt to English football and the standard of the Premier League as well. But he will, if he was to sign for the club, have a familiar face in Lucas Paqueta in and around the club, and he could put his arm around him. And of course, we're looking for centre-backs as well. So it will be interesting. Centre-back that can play left-back. He's young, he's enthusiastic. Moyes would want to embed him into the first team very quickly, so we'll keep an eye on this deal as it moves forward. Now, I'm going to move on to his Brazilian counterpart, who does play for Sao Paulo. He's a central midfielder. His preferred foot is right. He plays as a central midfielder, just ahead of the centre backs, being based at Sao Paulo, and he plays from behind as a deep lying playmaker. He was a player who set the tempo in the team thanks to his technique, his mental quickness to playing quite precise long balls. He would pinpoint passing. He's got very clever ability on a long ball pass. If a player I can compare him to slightly with his passing ability is Xavi Alonso during his time at Real Madrid, even at Liverpool, but predominantly during his time at Real Madrid, where he would sit back deep and he would ping balls left, right, and centre. Now, Pablo doesn't usually go up and attack, nor is he the most pressing player in defence, but he's respected in his position in a very disciplined way. He understands how to mark a player. He understands how to read the game. He's very clever at reading the game, and he's a key player and has been a key player in the Sao Paulo system that's given other players the freedom to push forward for more attacking midfielders. He knows when it's the right moment to play long balls out to the wings. He also can get out of situations, dangerous situations, when the ball is tight. But he's got good positioning, a very good reader of the game. Now he is reasonably tall. He's not the tallest in the world, but his build is physically able to deal with duels. He's got good balance, so that's something that would good and add value to the Premier League as well. But he's kind of very rarely seen in duels. The reason why, he is so clever. He's one of those kind of clever footballers. I'm not ramming home to you that this player is the be all and end all. All I'm saying to you is, from what I witnessed of the guy, he knows how to avoid situations by delivering very good. He's a good footballer, an actual extremely good footballer. He also likes to stay in his position, so he doesn't do a huge amount of running. He absolutely does the job that he is designed to do. So he contributes to the defence when he's needed, but his job is to produce football and brilliant balance to any football team as well. But he has got a lot to learn. He is, of course, only 20, so the world can be set alight. And again, if he comes and joins the club from Sao Paulo with Luazu, and then you've got Paqueta at the club, you've got 3 Brazilians there that can learn and breed off each other, and that can only pay massive dividends to the club as well. So this will be an interesting one. Be interesting to see how this one develops. 2 young Brazilian players potentially coming to West Ham as our first double signings of the January window. We're going to be bringing players in. Let's not worry about that. We know we will be. It's just what quality, at what level, and how much they'll cost. We have to keep an eye on. Now, that brings an end. We'll come and give you more detailed information on the players should they be close to signing for the club. So keep your eye on the channel for that as we move forward. But put your comments in and let me know your genuine thoughts on these 2 players. Do they fill you with joy? Are we looking to the future? Are we, we've got the situation with Craig Dawson. We've got the situation with Kurt Zuma, who's injured. Naif Aguerd, we don't know where he's at, but keep your eye on the Hammers headlines. We'll give you an update on that moving forward as well. But put your comments in, please. We appreciate your feedback as well. And here is, like we always do, a thank you to the sponsors. I'll see you at 5 o'clock. Come on, your irons.
Thank you.